I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to hoop a hat. First off, I'm going to talk about the cap frame briefly. Cap frame is attached via 3 spring-loaded clips that hold it in place using notches on that around the frame. The frame is constructed so that this tension ring has tabs right here that are designed to grip the hat in its seam. This tab right here helps you to center the hat so that you can start from the center on a 6-panel hat. And then it has a clip on this side right here that is what locks the hat in place. And then 2 posts that are used to pull the fabric around the back and hold the sides and the top of the fabric smooth. Goes onto your cap hooping station the same way that it goes onto the cap driver. There's a positioning notch that matches a notch on both the cap driver and the cap hooping station. To place it on, slip it over the barrel, line the notch up, release the tension on the clips, push them in until they clip. It's especially important that when you do this on the cap frame that it's locked into place so that the cap frame cannot move while the machine is embroidering. First thing we're going to do is we're going to release the tension ring out of the way. We're going to take our hat. Some hats come with either a light cardboard or some of the material inside the hat. You're going to remove that. You're going to open the tab at the back, and you'll use these for pulling and putting tension on. And then you're going to pull the sweatband of the hat out. For stabilizer, you're going to use a heavy tearaway stabilizer. These are of a certain width and length so that they wrap all the way around the cap frame and reach to the posts in order to give you something to clip both the fabric and the backing to. So we're going to put the backing on first. We're going to slip this underneath the tab, and I'm going to use 1 clip on each side to hold it in place while I put the cap around. Once the backing in place, then I'm going to take my hat. Again, I've got the adjustment band open, and I've got my sweatband turned inside out, and I'm going to flatten the bill so that I can have as straight a line as possible that runs all the way along. When you're embroidering a hat all around, this seam right here will need to be straight in the cap frame, or otherwise your line of text will either go up or down on the hat. So it's really important if you're going to embroidering on either side of the cap that when we put this in the frame that this line is straight. So we're going to pull the sweatband out, flatten the bill, and then we're going to hold it like this right here and put the bottom over the 2 posts and pull it up and over the top of my cap frame and my stabilizer, and then I'm going to feed the sweatband underneath the tab as well. Then, as I'm working it around on a 6-panel hat or any other hat that you want to center, I'm going to try to line the center of that hat up with a little notch that's there on that tab. And as we feed it around, we're going to start turning the sweatband back underneath so that when we get down to the back here, we've got a nice smooth line that's straight. I'm going to use my tabs now to put a little pressure on this. I'm going to make sure that these lines are all straight. And then I'm going to bring my tension ring around. When I bring my tension ring around, one goes on one side of the cable goes on one side, the other goes on the other side of the hat, and those little tabs we talked about a moment ago go into the seam of the hat. I'm going to feed it into the seam all the way around, and I'm just going to latch this catch. I'm not going to pull it tight, I'm just going to hang it in the latch. While I position the rest of the hat. If, as in the case you've seen here, that my seam comes out from underneath this right here, this is not going to work because it's not going to capture the side of the hat. So we've got to make sure that this seam is underneath that edge. So again, I'm going to release this, reposition my hat, making sure again that this line is straight, this seam on both sides is straight. Feed my tension ring back over, and you'll notice that this time my teeth on that ring are capturing the fabric along this edge and then are falling into that seam on the hat. Latch it without pulling it tight. I'm going to verify that my seams are straight. I'm going to pull my hat tight now so that I've taken out as much as all of the wrinkles or puffiness as I can, making sure everything is still lined up, and now I'm going to lock it down once that my seam is straight up and down. All right, now I'm going to take the clip that I used to hold the stabilizer out, and I'm going to use it to clip both the stabilizer and the fabric. Again, I'm pulling on the fabric to make sure that it's flat and smooth and no wrinkles. Put my first clip on, take a second clip. I'm going to use 2 clips on each side. Clip it in place. Again, from the inside, pulling the one on this side. Pulling the fabric smooth and straight. First clip. Second clip. At this point in time, I've got the hat hooped. I'm just going to take it off my cap assembly by releasing it so that I can verify that my seam is straight all the way around on both sides. And that is how you properly hoop a cap.